All right, guys, just got done looking at some charts on Sunday here, and here's the watch list I've come up with that we'll be watching in our live trading chat room at greatstockpicks.com for Monday. The education group has been pretty strong. APOL has an interesting chart here. Let's get the drawing tool going. You had first the gap down, but then you had some bounces up to the 22 area. Another nice move up to the 22 area here. You can see here that it was almost straight up to get there, so you don't want to buy the break of 22 after that kind of a move. But now we've had that consolidation that you want, which the whole thing pretty much forms the old cup and handle that you've heard about, right? You can see that there. So anyway, nice volume on Friday relative to the several couple weeks before that. So a lot of things in place. This deserves to be on long watch. I like the volume move on Friday, and we will be watching for maybe a push through this 22 area. But keep this one on a chart. APOL, Bristol Myers BMY, big volume, attempted breakout here. Seems a little extended. Again, kind of the same scenario that you had come a long way to get here. So then a couple days later, when it gets above that, you can see how quickly it failed. But now it's consolidating nicely. And you had a couple green days. So I don't have any kind of a here's the trigger price, but I like the action. After this, what looked like a topping tail and a failed breakout, you had a nice support hold at 46. Couple green days, but it hasn't moved too far. Okay, so this one looks pretty good for a potential long 15-minute candles here. It looks good. It looks good over this 47.50 area maybe, but I don't like to call trigger prices the day before because we don't know if the market's going to gap down on Monday morning. If the market gaps down big and then this Bristol Myers opens at 46.50 and I tell you in this video that I like it over 47.50, well, that's not going to hold true. Trying to get my drawing tool going. So let's just say it opens here and then gets to the trigger price I talk about in this video. I like it over 47.50. Not after it's just moved $1. So we don't know, since we don't know how the market's going to open on Monday, I'm not comfortable giving any kind of a trigger price. It's all going to depend on intraday action, okay? And those are the ones we call live in our chat room. But I do like the daily chart here. And that's why I'm hesitant, the reasons I just gave, why I'm hesitant to just give out a trigger price on these videos, because we just don't know how the market's going to open. All right, having said all that, a cheaper one, RENN, hit the 200-day here a couple days ago, and it's really holding up well after that, and I like the recent volume. Okay, this has great recent volume up over this 3-day high. There's not a lot in the way, and you could call it its sister stock, DANG. Has been on a tear. So RENN, maybe some catch up to do here, but I really like this one. Chart wise anyway, I'm not a big fan of trading Chinese stocks, but the recent high here, 336, it closes Friday at 333. So you get up around 340, and you can see back here it hit whatever it was, 341. Up around 340 on any kind of volume, this could have a nice measured move higher. So even though it's a cheapie and a Chinese stock, doesn't cost you anything to keep it on a chart. I do like the chart setup. I've had my eye on this one for a few days, actually a few weeks. I like the push up here. It's holding around 8, okay? But this one is one that gets nice moves every once in a while when it moves. Doesn't really look like it on this chart. You don't have any big daily candles, but you had the gap down here to about 10. You kind of have a cup and handle here too. If I go to 15-minute candles, you can see it gives you a better perspective. You can see some nice moves that it can make percentage-wise, like right there. We had a nice move right here. And really, you can just kind of see here that it's sort of, after this move, it's sort of kind of flagging back down, testing support. I like this one back over these recent highs, up around 810 or 815. Again, we don't know how the market's going to open, but this one can move nicely at times, at least on a percentage basis. And I mean, one of these days, if it can get over 864, you could have a move back up to 10. So I like the formation here. It's been kind of choppy lately, but keep your eyes on this one. I really like it even just over this recent high of 852. But you never know. On Monday, this thing may be trading in a narrow range and then get a volume push real quick. And if we have it on a chart, we may catch this on a move around 820 where it's just beginning this breakout and then going to take out these recent highs. So, anything can happen, but I don't know, keep MM on a chart. On an intraday basis, this could give a nice move. And again, I repeat, doesn't cost you anything to have it on a chart. JKS, now this is a thinner stock. If you look, it almost never hits 1 million shares a day. Some big spikes lately. Had earnings on Friday and got through 10, but then ends up closing down here at 920. I just have this on bounce watch. What does that mean? If it can break its early high on Monday afternoon, I love afternoon breaks when I have something on bounce watch. That's really what I'm looking for. A fairly narrow range and then an afternoon high of day break. So any scenario other than that, I probably won't mess with this thinner stock. But if you go out on the weekly, you can see how significant this is if it can get over 10 and hold, okay? 1043 was the high back here. Both of these highs were around 10. And up over these recent highs, this one could have a nice move. But again, I needed to stay in a narrow range on Monday and then maybe hit new highs in the afternoon. That's the only scenario I'm looking for right now. But I would say, after just showing you that weekly chart, keep this one on watch for a move back above 10. Even in the next few weeks, you could get a measured move higher. I'm not interested in it right now as a random guess buy, right? But on a day trade, I like it as an afternoon breakout any day in the near future. Let's see, JCPenney's, JCP. A lot of shorts in this one, so this one can get nice moves. And it's you had a high back here a few days ago of 1873. On Friday, it hit 1875 and closed near its highs. So just watch this one. I don't have a trigger price for you again. I do like it as a potential long, but again, it depends on how it trades on an intraday basis. WLT, wow, this thing's just so beaten up. I just have this on watch. I mean, a lot of people might say that might be a good short, and they might be right. So I'm not even necessarily looking for a bounce yet. This is sort of one of those, these are weekly candles that way back here at the tankage of late 2008, I think it hit, I can't see what the low, it's hard, my mouse is set really fast. Looks like the low was around 11 bucks. So if we're going down to test that, then I would say, yeah, that's a great short opportunity. It's just now breaking recent lows. But I'm not looking to short it. This is just literally in my notes. I'd like to see maybe a 3-day push down. And this could give a nice bounce. But right now, WLT is just in my notes. These calls are so beaten up. And then a real cheapie, KNDI, and this is just a weird chart. But you did have 18 million shares a few days ago, and it's holding up pretty well. Usually these things just come all the way back down, and this one still may, but it's holding up pretty well. Same thing as I said before, I'm looking for an afternoon break. Now, if you notice 15-minute candles here, here's the day of the crazy move. It never did break its opening 15-minute high. The next day, there's the opening. Let me use my drawing tool real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. Here's the opening 15-minute candle of the gap up day. There's the opening 15-minute candle the next day and on Friday. So if you notice, none of these days did KNDI break its early 15-minute high. So if this can trade in a narrow range, for the first few hours on Monday and then break its opening 15-minute high, and that's the only scenario I'm looking for, because these low-priced, low-volume whippy stocks, they can be really dangerous. But an afternoon high of day break, I bet you get a pretty nice trade on this. So again, it doesn't cost you anything to have it on a chart. That's my list for Monday. We'll add other stocks that we see gapping in the morning, and we're really good as a team at looking for unusual volume as the day unfolds too, and finding trade setups that way. So all right, I'm going to quit babbling, and we'll see you guys on Monday.